Time now for the markets with Leighton. You say the high price of beef is sparking a new type of crime?
Definitely is. Listen to this. In the Chicago, Illinois area, 3 truckloads of refrigerated meat have been reportedly stolen this month alone. Beef, obviously, and we know definitely at the retail level, considered a valuable commodity these days. In the markets this week, U.S. pond bank catfish prices are nearing $1.20 per pound. At least one meat packer plans reduced pork production beginning in July. And the old crop soybean pit remains on edge as we near the end of May. The monthly snapshot of the farm-raised catfish industry in the U.S. is now out. Prices are still up while processing is down. In the month of April, producers in the U.S. received a pond bank price of $1.18 per pound for premium-size live fish. That is 30 cents per pound more than was paid 1 year ago. Farm sales totaled 24 million pounds round weight, a drop of 8% from 1 year ago. Processor sales totaled almost 12.5 million pounds. That figure was up 1% from April 2013. The PED virus continues to impact the pork sector. Farmers are producing animals at record weights to try and compensate for decreased supply. Now, on the processing side, large packers such as Tyson Foods are now reportedly accepting pigs that are up to 15% heavier. Tyson also says it is going to reduce hog slaughter between July and September, when animal supplies are expected to be at their lowest. In the beef sector this week, some analysts describe the May cattle on feed report as more of the same old song. Of course, for producers, it's a pretty good tune as prices are expected to stay firm. Extension Ag economist Brian Williams discussed some of the major points of the on-feed numbers with me. Brian, did the monthly cattle on feed come out about as expected?
It did. The number of cattle on feed was down about 1%, and the marketings were down about 2%, and both of those were just right in line with expectations. And then our placements were down 5%, which was a little bit lower than what was expected.
So it sounds like the bigger picture is pretty much about the same as we've been talking about for a number of months.
It is. Same story, different month. We got tight numbers and the demand still staying strong. And
with the tight supply and prices kind of up, is that impacting exports at all, that picture?
It's not. Actually, our exports, I was looking at some of the numbers earlier, and for the year they're up 5% compared to a year ago. Mexico is a big customer, and exports to Mexico and Hong Kong were both up 85%, and then exports to South Korea were up 13%.
Well, on the face of it, it looks like with the picture about the same, prices looks like they could stay where they are. Is that what you're seeing, or what's your opinion?
For the foreseeable future, yeah. It looks like the number of cattle out there, cow-calves, those numbers are low. The producers are trying to retain heifers, so it looks like for the foreseeable future we're going to see tight supplies and high prices.
Now, the feeder cattle market in particular, some analysts, if you read online, have described as being on fire, the price picture there. What's your opinion on that? Are we perhaps nearing a top with the prices running so strong in feeder cattle especially?
I think we're going to see more of the same. As I mentioned, producers are trying to retain more heifers, and that's really just tightening up that supply even more, at least until the herd gets built up.
Well, we're at the Memorial Day weekend. Is that likely, you know, how is this, the high price picture going to play with what's usually a little bump in demand for grilling out, cooking out?
Well, there is a bump in demand for the beef. It looks like the cash sales are a little bit slow so far this week, but they're expected to pick up towards the end of the week. But it's grilling season. Memorial Day is a huge grilling weekend, and so I think the demand's still going to be strong over the weekend.
Let's break from the markets now to look at our trivia quiz for this week. The Ag Statistics Service has released a county-by-county breakdown of the average age of Mississippi farmers. Here's our question. Which county in the state has the oldest farmers? Is the answer Benton, or Tippah, or Attala, or Prentiss? I'll tell you at the end of the markets. Some analysts believe the corn market is now in what they term a sit-and-wait mode. News may be limited until the next supply-demand and crop reports in June. However, trader Naomi Bloom notes that if there's a significant change in weather, one that alters the May yield and carry-out projections, corn futures could get back above $5.
If the weather going forward isn't wonderful and that yield goes even from 165 down to 162, that makes carryout go from the 1.7 number down to 1.4, and that absolutely justifies corn to get back above $5. But most likely you're going to look at a situation where we have nothing to talk about for 3 weeks until the next USDA report. It's going to be a great time for the day traders to have some fun just trading the market ranges, and we have to just sit and wait for weather.
AgFacts.com reports this week that U.S. wheat prices overall continue to fall as demand fails to materialize. Analysts note that with prices becoming increasingly oversold, even the smallest fundamental support could help provide some boost to prices. And this, of course, would give wheat producers another opportunity to sell more of this year's crop. In the soybean pit in the aftermath of the large global carryout reported by the USDA some 2 weeks ago, there continues to be pressure on oil crop prices. There's also volatility coming into play due to a Bloomberg article reporting that global bean demand might be higher than estimated as China accelerates purchases along with some other countries. But at this point, that's more theory than fact, and like corn, there's a wait-and-see attitude in the face of little real news.
That's exactly what's going on, and a lot of traders still keeping an eye on South America and global demand. The USDA did make the global carryout again large, and so that's keeping pressure on the market. But November beans right now are doing a wonderful job of holding $12 support, and as long as they do that, we'll see them continue to trade range bound between $12 and $12.30. And the risk, though, is if the weather turns good and then we see the $12 support area fail, because then there's not much to catch it to $11.50. So don't sit on your heels, keep an eye on it every day.
Before our new feature story, let's check the trivia answer for this week. And the correct choice is A. The average age of farm operators in Benton County is 64.4 years. They are the oldest in the state of Mississippi.